Can I get live here at Citizen Television with the governor of county number 017, Makueni County, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. We've been talking about development track record in Makueni. And Governor, other than you're big on universal healthcare, you've done so much for this county. Another thing you're really passionate about is the youth agenda in Makueni. Tell us about that.
That's correct. Because I think for Africa, you alluded to this, Jeff, earlier, that the youth are the majority and they are hurting without jobs, some of them into drugs like moguka, like cheap alcohol, and so on. So one of the things as a teacher, as I said earlier, I was really very interested in terms of mentoring young people at the University of Nairobi and also within the NGO context. And so when I come into Makueni, because initially, many people didn't want to go and work in the counties. They were fearful. They thought these were small tribal enclaves. So there were very many young people whom we employed, and we said we would mentor them. They would do more school and so on and so forth. And I was convinced, for example, like today, when you look at countries like Austria, Sebastian, 33 years old Prime Minister. When you look at Finland, Marin, 34 years old. Yeah. When you look at New Zealand, Jacinda, 39 years old. Obama started Senate at 40 and became president under 50. Even in early independence, people like Mboya, Matiba, and so on, they were extremely young. So today, when we tell young people, you must have lots of experience after their academic pursuits, maybe that is something that we need to reconsider. And in my view, we should say in the public sector, when you employ 3 people, one of them should be a youth. And of course, it's the gender consideration, there is disability, and so on, and so forth. And this experience thing, we really need to rethink it. Because like when I'm dealing with technology issues in the county, and in the context of the 4th Industrial Revolution, people tell me about Internet of Things, and they tell me about blockchain, and they tell me about all those things. Yeah. We don't know them. Yeah. The older people don't know them. And these people have the ability to solve your problems in a different way. So I really think that within even the context of BBI, we should be able to say that give these young people space. Let them compete and let them even show you new things that you kind of don't know. And therefore in Makueni, we actually are trying to pilot a youth model so that actually it is even many things are driven by the youth. Like we are saying that for every project that we run, we will have youth interns so that they can learn, on that job. Even kids from universities who have a break, so that we say, come, you are doing engineering, this is an engineering issue. Come and help us here learn here. And that's one of the things. I
saw pictures over there. I think we've been running them, pictures of you with a whole bunch of youth. You spend a lot of time with
we do that because I think that's the future. And I was happy to notice that when the president appointed this CSS, yes, and I think there were probably 15 of them. 7 of them were women, that's very good. 8 were male. And there were 2 youth among, there was Nadia, there was Mokami, there was Mugure. Yeah. And Nadia is this lady who tried to be Miss President in a reality show. And that excited me because these young people are going to say, whatever we do is being noticed. And we can be groomed so that we get into leadership. So I think the country really needs to look at this issue of the young people and be very proactive and not, even in elective office, Jeff. I think that if we go the party list way, we should again make sure that a third of those recommended, yeah, people like Nasakaja became, senators very early on. Akena Cecily Mbarire, we used to work with them in youth agenda. So we need to give our young people chance, and they will not disappoint us.
Would your running mate be a youth, a young person, or a woman, or both? If you ran for president?
If I ran, when I ran for president.
When you run?
When I ran, not if. We will negotiate. We'll negotiate, but I cannot work within a formation where we don't have youth there, we don't have the female gender, we don't also have disability. And I even think within this context of making sure that there is unity among our communities. If you have these ministers, you have assistant ministers, you have all these people in the executive, there is no reason why every county should not produce one of them. So that an Ongiek will be there, even if they are numerically few, and they will say that there is somebody who we can go and talk to so that they can talk to the government and we can live in forests nicely. Yeah. So I think it is this inclusion in terms of communities and inclusion in terms of different visions and different ideologies, so that also those merge.
Governor, let's take a look at some tweets that have been coming in very thick and very fast this evening. Let's take a look. We start with a picture?
Yes.
That? Okay, there you go. What is that? They say you're babysitting or something.
Yes, my son-in-law and my daughter, the child had been crying throughout the night. So I gave them a break in the morning for them to rest a bit. And because I did this for my brothers, because I used to do it for my mother, I decided to do that so that she could stop crying.
And she did, it looks like.
She did.
Well done,
and she's looking into the future.
All right, where is this now?
Those are pre-primary kids, preschool.
Yeah.
And we have programs where we give them books, we give them those chairs. And so once a teacher, always a teacher.
There you go.
That was a school which was very dilapidated.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and we constructed, it was one of our first projects, a school which had about 50 kids or so. We constructed, and today it has about 500 kids. Good now, standard 1 to 7, full-blown, proper primary school.
Where's that?
We are still trying to study together. We are studying together.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's get some feedback. Twitter, tweets coming in thick and fast. Shiro says, please ask Governor what official Makueni is exporting to other counties. Does the county government sell pixies seedlings? If yes, how can farmers get them?
Yes, for example, our fruits, they are very, very popular everywhere in the country. I talked about the green grams. Again, we send them to many parts of the country. Of course, we are still struggling with the question of quote brokers. Some of the people who are not paying good prices. Yeah. I talked about the puree that we also export and so on. Even coffee, we do coffee in Makueni, we do macadamia. So we have a lot of things that we sell. Actually, we were surprised because when we came in, we were told that the poverty level was 66.8. It came to 61.4. Then recently, the statistical body told us that it was now 34.8, and we are still, saying that we think there is something in terms of the calculations, because that's a very drastic drop.
Yes. Right. Okay. Engineer Lazaro says, I don't know how the good professor is feeling when sitting in the same panel, as in Council of Governors, with colleagues who squandered public funds and totally did nothing in their areas. What is it like in that room?
I think sometimes there's misunderstandings of what we do as governors, and of course all those reports are out there. Initially we didn't, in terms of accountability, when we started and when there weren't proper controls, there was a challenge. But people have improved, and of course when you do wrong things, of course people keep on saying that we have done wrong things to EACC. They come and they investigate, because every time they get a complaint they must investigate. And we do benchmarking. We go to each other so that you see what others are doing, which is good. We have even a Marifa Center of saying good practices.
Yeah, do they come to your county to see how you're doing?
Actually, there was a time many governors came to the county, to look at the health and other things. And I think Makueni is one of the counties visited most by other counties for benchmarking in various areas.
Yeah. Okay. Bookings Empire says, Governor Kivutha, what's your take on contracted health staff in Makueni County, some since 2013?
We are helped a lot by donors, particularly in the area of HIV/AIDS, and they help us to employ nurses and so on. And of course, within the country now, there is this question of the wage bill. So sometimes when you're employing people, you start by employing them on contract, even as counties. But in Makueni, we have been helped a lot by the international community employing some of the staff for us. But I think that question has been asked severally. And from 2013, I don't think so.
Okay.
That is so.
Mweli Clinton says, Governor, why has he neglected the southern part of Makueni? What's happening, Mheshimiwa? You have never been to Konzilu since August 8th poll. Do something. Konzilu.
Okay, we haven't neglected the southern part. Every ward in Makueni, as a matter of course, gets 33 million shillings as ward development fund. Even the ward development fund that is being talked about in BBI, we operationalize that within Makueni. And it is the people who decide what are the things that should be done apart from the flagship projects. They decide that in their own wards. So I will investigate what that means, but I know that for every ward there is 33 million, and the decision is made by people in that ward, and you can't change the decision that they make. Okay. SMS's Diana says, in terms of development, there's still no electricity in most of the villages where people reside in this county. Not even much development is ongoing. On how do you expect to take the nation forward if your own county is still backwards in so many ways? Electricity, roads, water, illiteracy. Of course, electricity is a national matter. It's not a county matter. And when it's roads, there are county roads, there are national government roads. And sometimes people don't know the functions of each of the two levels of government. And so I think that in terms of that particular question, many questions will be asked, and some which, for example, we come to us, we try to respond, and even we try to ask for the national government to help us in issues where the citizens raise.
Yeah, they always talk about the last mile, the last mile. Is that last mile coming?
We are in conversation with the national government, and they say that they're going to supply us, they're going to supply us with transformers, although initially they were being supplied to the MPs. But now we are in conversation with the national government, and they have promised us about 180 of transformers.
Okay, viewer says, Governor Kivutha Kibwana, Isuni River, Mukuyuni Ngai. This river has no bridge. When it rains, people can't cross over to do their business. Kids can't go to school. No vehicles ply their side. People get swept away. I lost my uncle in this river. Is it possible to build a bridge here? Since you're on Building Bridges Initiative, can you build a bridge at Isuni River, Mukuyuni Ngai?
I think that's the same issue with people not knowing what are national roads and county roads. But I think we will, through our county administration, we'll be able to look at that issue. Actually, we lost about 20 people in these floods because of, of course, the floods, landslides, and so on and so forth. So that is also an issue that we will ask our county administration. Yeah. But I know that it is a question of a national bridge, but we also talk to the national government, Kenya particularly, so that they can do certain things that as a county government, it's not our mandate. Yeah, you think you should. Janet says, this is the last SMS, says, he is up to the task. His development and records in Makueni, mainly in universal healthcare, are real and has benefited many. Tell us one thing, Governor, one thing that Kenyans
who are seeing you for the very first time in a one-on-one interview, tell us one thing that people do not know about you.
They do not know about me?
Yes.
Of course, as a human being, people don't know a lot about you, apart from people who are very close to you. I studied University of Nairobi for a law degree. That was my first, that's what I studied first. Not that I wanted to become a lawyer. Actually, I wanted to become a teacher. And that's why even after studying law, I became a teacher of law. Then I started, I studied a second degree in London, at Harvard, at George Washington, PhD. But many people don't know that I studied theology, a master's of theology for 3.5 years. And my interest really was, I wanted to be able, within my family context, to be able to, discuss faith matters from a position of knowledge. Mm. And this was before I became a governor. So it was Ngumbaru. Yeah. So that when I came to Makueni, part of how we would do business there was to be faithful to servant leadership, to be faithful to godly principles, without discriminating any faith, because in Makueni I have Muslims, I have Christians, I have Hindus, and I have African traditional religion.
Governor, why don't you discuss more of that with the 46 other people you hang out with every now and then?
We discuss many things. We do.
Maybe this country will be a better place, but thank you. Thank you for your work you've done. And yes. Good luck. You said when you run for president, not if. When.
When. Yes. And I thought, Jeff, you were going to eat me alive in Jeff Live. But I have survived.
You have survived.
And I thank God.
Well done, Governor.
Thank you.
Good job.
Asante.
Very refreshing conversation, sober conversation with Governor Kivutha Kibwana here, county number 017, Makueni County. Some of you say he's done a great job. Others say, you know what? A lot more needs to be done. There's only one man. He's been there 10 years. He's done what he can, probably. Now he wants to go to the next level. What do you think? Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLive. Thanks so much for being a part of JKLive. Remember, every Wednesday, it's all about those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other, namely JKL, right here on Citizen Television. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Good night. Good luck. God bless this amazing country of ours. Thank you, Governor. Good job.
Thank you.